Hi everyone, Bernie would have won here, the internet's busiest music nerd. And I'm going to do a quickie review, lay down some thoughts here on the new Skepta EP. Vicious. Skepta is a UK rapper, a grime artist, who's been having a pretty big couple of years over here in the US, collaborating with artists like the ASAP Mob. He had an interlude cut on Drake's new More Life album, mixtape, playlist, whatever you want to call it. And his Konnichiwa record, really kind of did numbers and gained a lot of attention outside of the UK, at least more than your average rapper from there typically gets outside of the UK. Now, he's got this new EP. I was kind of curious considering how much of Konnichiwa I enjoyed, and it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I mean, it starts off well enough with an incredible banger instrumental, kind of a sleek, nice bass line on the opening cut over here still, some pretty cutthroat lyrics from Skepta. Of course, with grime music, the lyrics are not quite as violent or as dark or, I guess, I don't know, as braggadocious in the typical sense that a lot of American artists are, or at least the similes that they make or the cultural references that they make are maybe a little bit beyond what some Americans understand or what is typically the lyrical or the aesthetic as far as word choice goes for an American hip-hop listener. So there may be some points here and there that could strike some listeners as a little corny, but still, to me, this was a quality grime track and a great way to kick off the EP. And miraculously, right after this cut, we have the song Sit Down featuring Lil B. It's a total friggin' banger. B kills the hook on the track. His feature is fantastic. Him and Skepta just land on this pretty fiery instrumental, and they have good chemistry on the track. And even though No Security is maybe the most low-key cut on the entire EP, it does have a very cold-blooded vibe to it, and some of the lyrics, at least from the perspective of Skepta, are kind of personal. That land on there, but beyond that, it's like the EP totally just takes this nosedive. The song Worst featuring Section Boys, this has to be intentional, but this track sounds exactly like No Security. It seems just like an extension of that track. The bass line sounds nearly the same. The flows sound nearly the same. It has to be intentional, but was it completely necessary? I mean, maybe not really. I mean, if they were going to sound that similar, why not make it a single track, or why not just have Section Boys feature on No Security? Like, the track sounds so friggin' similar. The song Hypocrisy has probably some of the worst lyrics and the most awkward. They try to disrespect me when they're online especially, but everything cool when they check me, because I'm so cool and deadly. See, I had to realize slowly that nobody actually knows me. Yeah, man, I got 15 different iPhones, but I am so not phony. What? You have an artist who thinks they sound really slick on a beat, or that they've written something really slick, and it's just so not the case. And maybe there is a bit of self-awareness to what Skepta is saying on this track, but it doesn't stop it from feeling and sounding as awkward as it does. And honestly, while I was pretty interested to hear A$AP Nast and A$AP Rocky on the closing track over here, Ghost Ride, it is again, one of the more lackluster tracks on the EP. Like, there's not a whole lot in terms of energy on this track, very little in the way of chemistry between all these guys, despite the fact that you've had connections between ASAP Mob and Skepta before. Like, it just was not fireworks, unfortunately. If you give this EP a shot, expect the first half to be hot, and then immediately it gets not hot right after that. Once you start memeing, I think that's when you need to cut the review off. So, yeah, overall pretty indifferent toward the EP, but that's not necessarily because there isn't good material on it. There certainly is. It's just that the downsides of this EP totally cancel out the upsides, I would say. But man, if I would recommend any track right off the bat, it's definitely the Little B cut. I'm feeling like a light to decent 5 on this thing. But over here next to my head, you can catch a review of Konnichiwa, or you can click on the link to subscribe to the channel, and that's going to be it, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Forever.